So hello everyone and welcome to the start of Season 2 here with Aston Martin. Now if you didn't watch the pre-season episode, go back and watch that. Definitely worth a watch, as that'll give context to what you can see in front of you. Fernando Alonso and Pierre Gasly, two new main drivers. We've got another new driver in Felipe Drugovich in reserve as well. The car is much improved. I'm hoping this is going to be a much more exciting season for us, and one which we can start to climb the rankings and finish a little bit higher than 8th in the Constructors' Championship. There's not so much else to tell you. The car's improved, the drivers are improved, the team as a whole has improved. I think I've improved. Let's get to the race weekend. I'm going to get through practice. All three drivers are going to get a go in the car in the practice sessions, and then I'll see you in qualifying in Bahrain for the start of Season 2.
Welcome to the archipelago of Formula One. Bahrain might have a small land footprint, but it's showing its big spirit right now in the grandstands. Either way, it's time for another fantastic weekend of Grand Prix racing. The Bahrain International Circuit is a challenging track, and the cars routinely have to brake from high gear to low to take the narrow turns. With the need for downhill braking, the risk of locking up is one drivers will need to manage. It's all about focus and balance to get victory here. At this early stage in the season, there are still plenty of opportunities for things to change. In this sport, there simply are no guarantees. Let's get this underway.
So then you join us on the final flying laps of Q1, and it's got to be said, look at the left-hand side. Gasly and Alonso, 9th and 10th. If there was any doubt at how much we'd improved as a team over the winter break, my word, have we not just a little bit. Still at the front, Max Verstappen and the two Ferraris, as you would expect, with Sergio Perez. Lewis Hamilton and George Russell in the Mercedes looking pretty handy as well. Valtteri Bottas, but then it's the two Aston Martins of Pierre Gasly and Fernando Alonso. Now, these episodes might start to get a little bit longer because, obviously, there's a chance we might make it into Q2. We might even make it into Q3. Who knows? We'll just slow that down a little bit. Fernando Alonso comes through, he stays P9. Pierre Gasly is just rounding the final corner. And Pierre Gasly's looked pretty handy. And to be fair, Pierre Gasly was the man who sat out practice one because Felipe Drugovich was in the car. But P8 and 9, we don't really move positions. We improve a little bit, but we are comfortably through to Q2. What a difference the season makes, my word, and maybe what a difference a couple of drivers makes as well. The Williams still really struggling at the back, as we can see, but our guys through pretty comfortably. Danny Ricciardo in the McLaren, was it a mistake for them to keep hold of him this summer? Latifi's in the Haas, by the way. Sebastian Vettel in the Alpine, maybe he might have had a spin. We'll come back for the end of Q2. Q2, and our guys, after the first runs on the used set of soft compounder tyre, find themselves in P6 and 7. Pierre Gasly out qualifying Fernando Alonso again, but there's very little between the two guys. We sent Fernando Alonso out a little bit earlier than Pierre Gasly on this second run, just to get him some free air, and we jumped it a little bit, but they both now are on fresh soft compound tyres. We should see improvement. Fernando Alonso is green through Sector 1 and Sector 2. As he's come round the final corner for his final flying lap, Fernando Alonso gains about a tenth and a half. So good lap for Fernando Alonso. Now it's all eyes on Pierre Gasly, who's flying round as well. He's green through Sector 1 and Sector 2. What are the other guys going to be doing? As we can see, Lance Stroll and Sebastian Vettel still on the grid. Obviously not in the Aston Martins this time round. Lando Norris doesn't improve. Pierre Gasly coming round the final corner. Will Pierre Gasly manage to improve? He's on the cusp a little bit. Pierre Gasly comes across the line. He's P7. Out qualifies Alonso again. It's going to be interesting now. We've never had a car into Q3. Are we going to manage that today? Stroll, Magnussen and Zhou are the three that could knock us out. We haven't got a set of fresh compound tyres either for Q3 if we do get through. But it looks like we have got both cars through to Q3. My word. Is it time to get excited, people? If you weren't excited before the start of this season, you've got to be excited now. Both cars into Q3. Let's see what we can do there. Right then, guys, Q3. I'm not used to commentating in Q3, but this is a nice surprise, a nice change. Fernando Alonso is green through Sector 1 and Sector 2. Pierre Gasly green through the first sector. They should be improving. They have actually both got a set of fresh soft tyres which we've put on to try and get up the grid as much as we possibly can. Fernando Alonso looks like he's had a belting lap there compared to his first time. Where is Fernando Alonso going to finish as he comes across the line? Fernando Alonso jumps up to P8, out qualifying Magnussen at this moment, but Pierre Gasly has had the measure of the Spaniard all weekend. Can Pierre Gasly make a dent on this? He's coming around the final corner now. Pierre Gasly, can he improve on P10? You would suggest he can. Pierre Gasly comes across the line, and it's going to be P8. So P8 and 9 for Alonso and Gasly, just out qualifying Magnussen. We're not miles away from the front at all. And we're a lot quicker in a straight line this year as well. So what a first qualifying of the season. We might not have to show you Q1 going forward this season. Why not? Let's get carried away with ourselves. Max Verstappen is on pole from Charles Leclerc and Sergio Perez. It's a checkerboard of Red Bull and Ferrari. Then come the two Mercedes and Alfa Romeo. And then come the Aston Martins. Let's get to 5 red lights. But strategy could play an important part this weekend. Right then, so both our guys starting on the soft compounder tyre. We have got 2 fresh sets of medium compounds. I'm guessing that we might cut short that first stint, go on to mediums early, then go on to another set of mediums. That's sort of the idea. We might even try a one-stop. I like to save the hard compound tyres in case it's a safety car, and then we can switch to those. So both drivers, 9 and 10. Let's see what we can do, make some moves early. And I think now we've got a better car and better drivers, we can, our strategy, we're a bit more flexible in what we can do, and we can have a greater impact. So we'll see where we go from there. Let's get to the first race of the season.
And there we have Pierre Gasly. With a top 10 position on the grid, this race could really go either way for them. And here's Alonso, the team's second driver. Not as close to the front as they might have wished for, but we know the race order can change a lot during those first few corners. The race start is mere seconds away. And this is it, the Bahrain Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go!
And away we go. And are we excited for this? Absolutely. We've never been so far forward. We're going to ride on board with Pierre Gasly straight away into turn 1. Can we make a nice early move? Our guys come dangerously close to touching on the first corner, and Fernando Alonso's got the elbows out, possibly showing the young Frenchman, look, I'm the main man here at Aston Martin. But Fernando Alonso up into P8 and P9. Our guys swapping positions off the start. Is Pierre Gasly going to go for a move early? Both our guys fighting off the start. Can I tell them not to at this moment in time? Possibly not. It is the first race of the season. I don't want to be dishing team orders out this early. But Fernando Alonso and Pierre Gasly both having a decent start. Ideally, we could do with Alonso getting past that Alfa Tauri and Gasly, to be fair. Sorry, that Alfa Romeo in front. Here is Pierre Gasly, as we can see, right up the chuff of Valtteri Bottas in that Alfa Romeo. He's got the overtake on, and we are rapid in a straight line. Pierre Gasly going for a move on Valtteri Bottas, the flying Finn, not flying so much round here. Pierre Gasly round the outside. Can he keep his nose in? He's still very much trying to get past this Alfa Romeo. It'd be ideal if he could, and he's going to have the inside line into this next corner. Pierre Gasly is past the Alfa Romeo of Valtteri Bottas and can now latch onto the Mercedes in front. I cannot believe I'm commentating on the first lap of the Grand Prix and we're up in P7. My word. Now, can Fernando Alonso do something similar? As we have a look down this long start finish straight, we are pretty decent now in a straight line. Fernando Alonso having a look at Valtteri Bottas. Is he going to make a dive into turn 1 on lap 2? Pierre Gasly's having a look at the two Mercedes. Can't quite make the move, Pierre Gasly. He does hold on though to P7, and Alonso's backed out a little bit there, got caught up a little bit on lap 2. But as things stand at the start of this Grand Prix, Charles Leclerc is currently leading from Max Verstappen. He's nearly pulled out a second on him, breaking that DRS. Then comes Carlos Sainz and Sergio Perez. Then come the two Mercedes of Hamilton and Russell. And then comes the Aston Martin of Pierre Gasly, looking tremendously quick and very nice, it must be said, around this Bahrain Grand Prix. We are having a look at a new livery for next season. Didn't quite get it on in time for this one, but Pierre Gasly looking pretty decent. Bottas starting to lose ground to Pierre Gasly. And my word, is it? Valtteri Bottas has lost the DRS of Pierre Gasly. And Fernando Alonso, we're going to stick with it. We were going to cut there. But Fernando Alonso is looking at the back of Valtteri Bottas. I think Fernando Alonso is not too far away from getting Valtteri Bottas, especially when DRS is going to be enabled. So lap 2, it's looking very, very promising for the Aston Martin team. Lap 3, Fernando Alonso causing Valtteri Bottas all sorts of problems into turn 1, got the DRS and then just absolutely breezed past him. I've been used to watching cars doing this to us, but this season looks a little bit different. As you can see just in front there, Pierre Gasly very much holding on. Yes, our guys know we've had a good break. Yeah, Pierre Gasly very much holding on to that Mercedes. We're back onto normal fuel saving and everything now, so all looking very promising at this moment in time. I don't want to get too giddy, but you know what? After finishing 17th and 18th most of last year, I can get a little bit giddy. I'm just hoping we don't have any spins. We're also going to keep a close eye on the two guys that left our team at the end of last season. Sebastian Vettel in the Alpine running P15 and Lance Stroll running P16 in the AlphaTauri. Those two actually battling each other at the moment. Alonso's just lost that position to Valtteri Bottas, but DRS, they're going to be battling now. Fernando Alonso could do it getting past him and staying past him if he possibly can, but we're not too concerned about that. Pierre Gasly, what a race this man's having. He's now on the back of George Russell and Sergio Perez. He's battling with the big boys, Pierre, at the front of this race. Lap 16, and as far as first stints go in an Aston Martin car, Pierre Gasly has just had one of the best 16 laps I've watched during my time as team principal. Lewis Hamilton came in the lap before. Pierre Gasly's tyre warning just dropped into the 30%, so it made sense for him to come in this lap. And hopefully we could do a good pit stop here, guys. 2.8, it's not brilliant at all, that. Where is that going to filter him out? We're keeping an eye on Lewis Hamilton, who's coming down the start-finish straight, and it looks like Lewis Hamilton has got a jump on him. Pierre Gasly, a little bit of work to do, it must be said. He's got around, what, 2 seconds, a second and a half to catch up now, but I'm pretty sure we'll manage that. Fernando Alonso's going to be in this next lap. Pierre Gasly, a little bit of work to do, but he's stuck in it. He's stuck in it fantastically well, Pierre Gasly. And Alexander Albon, Fernando Alonso will be coming in the next lap. We'll come back when Fernando's in for his first pit stop with Aston Martin. And here we go then, lap 18, and Fernando Alonso is coming in. Another fantastic stint. He's been very much battling with Valtteri Bottas, and Valtteri Bottas has followed him in as well. He's just going to be battling with him all afternoon. We're also keeping a keen eye on where Pierre Gasly comes out in all this. We've got a lot of cars into the pits at this moment in time. The one we're mainly looking at, let's have a look at Lewis Hamilton. Where have we come out? Pierre Gasly, he's jumped Sergio Perez. What a time to be alive. We've jumped to Red Bull in the pits. But I'm guessing we're going to be very much under pressure from Sergio Perez very shortly. Fernando Alonso, where's he going to filter out? Bottas must have got Eldor, had a very bad pit stop. Valtteri Bottas has dropped back massively. Fernando Alonso now, I'm guessing the guys in front of him, where are we? P12? Vettel's on the hard, Ocon, Zhou, and then Perez. So he's not had a bad pit stop there. Fernando Alonso, P12, we'll deal with that. But it's all eyes on Pierre Gasly. We're very much watching Pierre Gasly at this moment in time. I'm guessing we're going to be vulnerable to Perez, but if we can get pulled along by that Red Bull, we could be in a very decent position. But we're going to have a quick look at Yuki Tsunoda locking up as well into turn 1, locks up the right front and goes wide. No massive damage, but not good for Yuki Tsunoda at his new team. This is a nice one. We're going to get to see Fernando Alonso overtaking Sebastian Vettel in the Alpine. Obviously swapped cars at the start of this season, but Fernando Alonso, I bet Sebastian Vettel's thinking, I wish I hadn't spun so much because I'd have possibly been in that Aston Martin. Although, let's not forget, he did give us one of the greatest ever laps we're going to see in an Aston Martin car in Mexico last season. But our guys in the garage are thoroughly enjoying this, and I've got to say, me on the pit wall, I'm loving it as well. Lap 19. Fernando Alonso, in the space of 2 laps, has gained about 3 or 4 positions. He's been absolutely fantastic. He's been put into traffic, which maybe we can have a look at why that's happened. But Fernando Alonso, that Aston Martin, I don't know what it is. I know we've not changed the livery, but that Aston Martin's just looking a little bit brighter, a little bit faster, a little bit sexier this year. And this Aston Martin team are all infused. And I've got to say, we've had to do a bit of micromanaging on Pierre Gasly. We'll come back now. Lap 24 is what we're on. Pierre Gasly, we had to manage him. We told him to lean off the tyres, harvest the RS to just stay behind Sergio Perez, because we knew Sergio Perez would drag us back to Lewis Hamilton, and he's done that. It's also pulled out a 5-second gap between the Gasman and George Russell. Pierre Gasly is looking absolutely fantastic for good points in this race. I can't get over this performance from both of our guys. And look, we're not even looking at this bit of the grid, which is lovely to see. Pierre Gasly, my word, what a signing this could be. We had to do a lot in the winter to get him, in the summer to get him, sorry, and we tried. We had a look through at the end of last season. We saw we were outperforming that AlphaTauri, what he were in. But my word, look at him now. Look at him now. P6. And can you tell from the commentary, from everything, I'm a lot more enthused with the two drivers I've got at my disposal this year. Pierre Gasly staying within the DRS of the Mercedes and the Red Bull. Fantastic stuff. And Fernando Alonso is having a right ding-dong battle with these three cars. We might pit Alonso a little bit earlier to get him into clean air and get him past this lot, because I think he's got the pace, but this DRS is hindering him a little bit. So maybe that's what we do with Fernando Alonso. Pit him early, move him onto the medium tyre. But for Pierre Gasly, it's a case of whatever these two guys in front do, that's what we do. P6 will be a fantastic result in race 1 of this Grand Prix. And we might as well update you about what's happening in the front, because it is Super Max Verstappen in the lead at this moment in time. He's got Carlos Sainz at the side of him. These two are in a bit of a world of their own at the moment. Charles Leclerc's just gone past, as we've just seen there. Sorry, Carlos Sainz has just gone past there. Charles Leclerc running in P3, and then comes Hamilton and Perez. Is there a chance that Hamilton and Perez could pull us up to the back of this Ferrari? Who knows? Lap 25. We've just had a crash on circuit, and I think it's involving Pierre Gasly. What's happened here? What is he doing, Sergio Perez? What is he doing? He smashed Pierre Gasly's front wing off. Pierre Gasly's now got to come in. And we have got a VSC. It makes sense for Fernando Alonso to pit as well. We'll come back, but that is an absolute sickener. And Sergio Perez wants absolutely doing for that. Lap 37. Right, guys, we're coming in. We've got both our cars coming in. Pierre Gasly's in first. He obviously needs a wing change, and then Fernando Alonso as well. We do lose less time under a VSC, so it makes sense to pit now and get these pit stops done. It's just a sickener at what's happened. I'm hoping that we're going to manage to get Pierre in and out in time, so Fernando doesn't have to doesn't get caught up in it, and we don't really lose anything to the double stack. But everybody seems to be coming in. Pierre Gasly must be absolutely gutted, although in hindsight he's not actually lost that much. He's now back behind Sergio Perez, and he's got to be frothing at the mouth to come and really get past him here now, because he's really affected his race. Meanwhile, Fernando Alonso, we keep an eye on that. He has got held, he's got held, he's got held, he's still getting held. And Fernando Alonso comes out P10. He's still going to be battling, but it is one of those things. DRS is now enabled. I'm guessing the VSC has ended. And Pierre Gasly has got work to do. He is on the medium compounded tyre. Let's see what he can do towards the end of this race. P6. There's still very much points on as well for... there's still very much points on for Fernando Alonso. A few cars on the soft compounded tyre on worn softs. We've gone to mediums, thinking that was the better tyre, because they're going to wear out. There's a long time to go. What we've got around 15 laps to do on those softs. They're going to be dead by the end, absolutely dead by the end. We save us tyres, we might have pulled a masterstroke here. Lap 38, lap 39, Fernando Alonso gaining 2 positions down the start finish straight. DRS open. We've got a quick car in a straight line this year. Top speed is fantastic. We've now passed those, so we get past Latifi in the Haas, which is different to see. And then we've got another car in front of us now. Let's have a look who we've got in front. Yes, we're still enjoying it in our garage. Lado at back's a bit more solemn about it, a bit more cool about it, which we like. But Fernando Alonso has now got Guan Yu Zhou in front of him, who's also on the medium compounded tyre. Pierre Gasly is going to be under attack very, very shortly from George Russell, but that might not be the worst thing in the world, because then we can latch onto him with the soft compound tyres for this little bit of a stint here, and then towards the end we're just going to breeze past him. Simple as that. Lap 39. Right, lap 51. Big crash. Now this could, if this safety car comes out here It's not a massive crash. He's locked up. He's tagged him. That's going to cause some discontent, it must be said. We've just got yellows, so no safety car. As things stand, Pierre Gasly is still currently running P7. Fernando Alonso is running P8, but we're not. That doesn't tell the whole story, because look at the tyres of the guys in front of safety car then. My word, we would have been laughing. But Pierre Gasly is going to get the shout in a second to start really going at it now, getting at George Russell. If he gets past him on this straight here, what we're going to do is we're going to deploy and try and get him and break that DRS. That would be ideal if we can, and that is the plan now. Let's get him on to deploy. Pierre Gasly, go for it, son. Go for it. Let's, like I said, keep an eye on the tyre wedge. 34% for George Russell, 32% for Perez. These tyres are going to be dying off massively, and it's up to now Pierre Gasly. He's already pulled out 6 tenths. Can he get away before this final, before this next DRS straight? It is possible. 6 tenths of a second. All eyes on Pierre Gasly. We're going to keep him on deploy. We just want George Russell out of the picture now, and that'll let Fernando Alonso as well sort of drag him in. I don't think he's going to draw in 20 seconds in the last few laps, but Fernando Alonso is having a right ding-dong battle with Esteban Ocon as well. It's over a second. Has he broken the DRS? Pierre Gasly could chase after these cars in front. He's deploying DRS. There's no DRS for George Russell. He's absolutely dropped him like a stone down that straight and that sector. What a performance this has been from Pierre Gasly. And all the adversity that he's had to deal with as well. Smashing into Sergio Perez, not his fault at all. But Pierre Gasly on deploy, lovely stuff. And we're going to leave him on it to try and catch up to these two in front. We reckon there could be an option for Pierre Gasly to get P5 in this last few laps. Meanwhile, we will switch back to Fernando Alonso. Fernando Alonso, he's definitely in the hunt for P9, and I think he will get it. P9 is definitely the maximum for Fernando Alonso, but Pierre Gasly draining this ERS. He's pulled out on George Russell there, 2 seconds. New fastest lap for Pierre Gasly. My word, people, are we getting excited here? What could Pierre Gasly do in this race? He's also, what's he got in front of him? Sergio Perez. Has he got a Williams? He's got a Williams with him, which is not helping him out, especially in situations like that. That's ridiculous driving. Is that Mick Schumacher? Mick Schumacher is not helping at all. He's now got out of the way to help Pierre Gasly go through. Pierre Gasly's still on deploy, but he's now within DRS of Sergio Perez, who is on dead, absolutely dead soft compounded tyre. Pierre Gasly, he's coming like a train in these last few laps here. What a performance on his debut for Aston Martin this is going to be. We're not really watching Fernando Alonso because it's all eyes on Pierre Gasly as he drives past Sergio Perez, overtakes lovely down that straight. We'll let that Williams catch up with him now, and we'll just drive up into the sunset here in Bahrain. Lovely stuff. Pierre Gasly, P5. Right then, we'll now switch to Fernando Alonso, who's got Guan Yu Zhou for company. Now, Guan Yu Zhou's on the medium compounded tyre. We're not really fussed about these two guys behind us. These two are going to die off. The battle is for P8, and P8 is very much on the cards. And there goes Fernando Alonso, flying past Guan Yu Zhou. Lovely work there from Fernando Alonso. Pierre Gasly's continuing to push and try and break the DRS of that Red Bull. It's obviously a very quick Red Bull, as we can see here, but he's doing very, very well at this moment in time. We expect those tyres of this Red Bull to drop off very, very shortly. It's going to be a battle all the way to the end now for Pierre Gasly, but one which we think he can win, and Fernando Alonso definitely the same. We will come back. Something that really helps Fernando Alonso is Guan Yu Zhou, where his main competitor running a little bit wide. That's just going to hold him up a little bit. Fernando Alonso still, but he now has broke that DRS, so he's just inside it. If Fernando Alonso can have a good couple of corners here, he could break the DRS, and it could be party time for Fernando Alonso. We're going to give him some DRS to use through this next straight to try and keep ahead of Guan Yu Zhou. We don't want him in DRS range. If we can break that DRS, we're absolutely laughing with Fernando Alonso. We'll come back to Pierre Gasly shortly. Pierre Gasly's still having Sergio Perez to deal with, and he has broke DRS now as Fernando Alonso. Has he got DRS behind him? Guan Yu Zhou, it doesn't look like he has. We'll keep him on display for a little bit longer, but Fernando Alonso looks like it's job done for P8 at this moment in time. And it is 1.25. That looks pretty good for us. Absolutely brilliant, Fernando Alonso. Right, Pierre Gasly, we're back with him. We've been harvesting some ERS because we think we might need it in this last couple of laps. We might have a deploy lap where we just try and push away as quickly as we can, but Pierre Gasly, P5, unbelievable scenes. Meanwhile, at the front, Max Verstappen is still leading, but at the moment, it's all Aston Martin. Here we go then, people. Final lap of the Grand Prix. Pierre Gasly against Sergio Perez for P5. Can he somehow manage to hold off this Red Bull? This Red Bull's tyres are absolutely cooked. We could do without Williams getting in the way a little bit as well. That'd be ideal. Just to check in on Fernando Alonso. It's job done today for Fernando Alonso in P8. It's all eyes on Pierre Gasly. We're going to get him on deploy. Give him everything that this Aston Martin package has got for him so far this season. Can he get a P5 on his debut for Aston Martin? We're looking at the interval on the left-hand side. He's pulled out a 10th of a second through that corner. Can Pierre Gasly make sure that that Red Bull stays behind him? It's looking like it at this moment in time. And if we have a look at the tyre wear, these guys are dead. If this race is another 5 or 10 laps, we've got it in the bag. I think we got the strategy with the VSC spot on. It does beg the question, if Pierre Gasly didn't have to come in and change his front wing, what could have been achievable today? We possibly could have been looking at a podium. But then again, that VSC did help us a little bit in other ways. But Pierre Gasly, he's just dropped him. He's dropped him by 2 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. Pierre Gasly, it's all going to be eyes on this man. He's going to take P5 on his Aston Martin debut. Max Verstappen comes across the line. I'm actually going to look at the classifications for the final race results a lot this year because we're going to be in the top half. And Pierre Gasly coming around the final few corners. What a performance by Pierre Gasly as he rounds the final corner in Bahrain. Pierre Gasly, fastest lap of the Grand Prix, and comes home P5 for Aston Martin. They're going ballistic on the pit wall here. We'll now switch to Fernando Alonso, who again has had a fantastic day as well. We've got to give him a round of applause because this is what we've been dreaming of. You've sat through 23, 24 episodes and watching absolute rubbish apart from a couple of times. But this season, ladies and gentlemen, you might be on for some entertainment. You might be on for some overtaking and some high point scoring finishes, maybe even a podium. Fernando Alonso crosses the line, P8, P5, P8. Let's fast forward it through. We had a car better than P8, Fernando Alonso says. I'm loving listening to that. Well, my word, look at the guys in the Aston Martin garage. The relief on this man's face. She's enjoying it, bless her as well. Our young gun. We're just, everybody, get your son out of that car, lads, and let's get some Peronis down his neck because that, my friends, was absolutely fantastic.
Aston Martin.
Look at the difference in the morale in the garage. There's some great haircuts going on as well. Unbelievable stuff. We've even got a cameraman in there for a change because they're actually bothered about what we're doing instead of just fighting with Nicholas Latifi.
Fourth in the constructor standings.
The teams now look ahead to the next.
And now we go on to the next one, but let's have a look at this. Max Verstappen wins from Carlos Sainz, Charles Leclerc. I reckon we possibly could have got Lewis Hamilton if we didn't have that crash. Pierre Gasly gets P5 and the fastest lap of the Grand Prix in our Aston Martin. Sergio Perez, George Russell, Fernando Alonso in P8. Maybe we should have a check on our old guys. We have a look at Lance Stroll, who's done well. P12 in the Alpha Tauri. Sebastian Vettel in the Alpine. Sebastian Vettel didn't spin this race. But I think those days are long behind us. Drivers' Championship-wise is obviously as it is. Pierre Gasly and Fernando Alonso 5th and 8th, as you would expect after the first race of the season. Constructors wise, we have a look at it. Red Bull from Ferrari, level pegging. Then Mercedes, and then Aston Martin in P4. Wow, wow, wow. What a first race of the season. I hope you enjoyed it because I've got to tell you, I bloody well did. And we'll see you for the next race. Like and subscribe, all those good things. See you later.